Hi, I'm Rachel Gable, and this is your Fair Cattle Markets update for the 26th of May. I wanted to revisit some information today about the meeting that was organized by the Livestock Marketing Association that took place in Phoenix a week or so ago, where leadership from all of the major cattle organizations, livestock organizations met, and Carrie Stadheim, who is the editor of the Tri-State Livestock News, which of course the Tri-State and the Fence Post are sister publications. So Carrie and I work together quite a bit and bounce ideas off of each other. So that's really a nice situation to have for us. Carrie wrote this week, her headline is "Industry in Crisis as Packers Pocket Beef Profit Lobbying Groups Seek Solutions." So according to her article, which is if you go to TSLN.com, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. She starts with escalating corn prices, which of course all of us who are feeding some cattle are well aware of. Mean the cost of feeding cattle has increased significantly, and cattle feeders who are already suffering severe losses due to the erratic fed cattle market will likely need to buy their inputs at a much lower price to stay in business by offering less to cow-calf producers and yearling operators for their cattle, which is according to an RCAF statement. Oklahoma Farmers Union President Scott Blubaugh, a fifth-generation rancher from Tonkawa, said, "If we don't get some of these problems fixed quickly, we won't have any independent ranchers in this country. That's what we're fighting for." She went on to write, with boxed beef at $3.23 a hundredweight and fat cattle around $1.19 a hundredweight, by most calculators, the packer is putting over $1,000 in his pocket before expenses, according to Sterling Marketing. John Nalivka, and I apologize if I butchered that, estimates packers were netting about $600 per week in April, and feeder margins were less than $200 per head. Although many feeders say that with $7 corn and scarce hay, that their profits have all but vanished. She went on to talk a little bit about the South Dakota congressional delegation and 14 others who are asking the U.S. Attorney General to look into packer buying activity for possible antitrust violations. The country's 6 most prominent cattle lobbying organizations gathered for the meeting that we told you about that took place on May 10th. LMA put out an official statement, which I told you about, but I'll revisit it just to remind you. In an official statement, LMA said that the group discussed, among other things, packer concentration, price transparency and discovery, packer oversight, Packers and Stockyards Act enforcement, level of captive supply, and packer capacity. According to, let's see, let me keep going here. They are also, let's see here. The 3 main action items were agreed upon, and each meeting attendee committed to seek the go-ahead from their own group to pursue action on each of the following items. Expedite the renewal of USDA's livestock market mandatory reporting, LMR, including the formula-based prices subject to the same reporting requirements as negotiated cash, and to the creation of a contract library. Second action item is to demand the Department of Justice, the DOJ, issue a public investigation status report and, as warranted, conduct joint DOJ and USDA oversight of packer activity moving forward. And third, encourage investment in development of new independent, local, and regional packers. Speaking of packers, I spoke to the attorney that represented the Equal Employment Office, EEOC. The acronym is skipping my brain at the moment, but they are in the process of settling with JBS over the firing about 10 years ago, actually, of some Muslim employees and some information about giving them space for prayer during the day and increased prayer time during Ramadan. I will admit, obviously, this is outside of my wheelhouse, but I did get a call back and had a good visit with that attorney. So I'm going to be working, it's a little outside our norm, but I'm going to be working on some coverage of that lawsuit and what that means from a labor standpoint and what that means from a packer standpoint. So certainly my brain has been in the labor wheelhouse lately with the Farm Workers Bill of Rights here in Colorado, which is, you can read about that in the Fence Post this week. At any rate, I've kept you longer than I intended to, which I say to almost everyone I speak to on the phone every day, every time. But this is your Fair Cattle Markets update. I hope you have a great week. I'm Rachel Gable. Bye-bye.